Hello guys, welcome to this video. In this video, I will talk about how to develop a video editor desktop application using Electron.js. Electron.js basically it's a framework to develop desktop application using JavaScript and HTML. And you can see this is actually the interface of the application. I am just showing you the demo what we will be building in this video. So here we will allow the user to select multiple images, and then we will convert those images into a MP4 video so that user can download or save this video file at any location. Let me just have full screen. So we have this interface. We developed this interface using Bootstrap, and choose file button is there. If I click this button, I will be able to select images from my PC. It can be either PNG images or JPG images, and I can select as many images as I want. Let's suppose I select these 4 images. I just want to create a slideshow of these images and into a video file. And then we have a simple input field where we can actually control uh, how many seconds each image should appear in the video. So here you can control the settings. So let's suppose I want each image to appear for 2 seconds. So now the total length of the video will be 8 seconds. So as I now click upload images and create the video, so what should happen basically, it will now process these images using FFMPEG. As I click it, you will see on the right hand side it has converted these images into a video, and we are basically playing this video in a video player, and you can see all the 4 images are being displayed in a slideshow manner. Each image is taking up 2 seconds in the video, and you can see it's a video player, and you can see that. So all the 4 images appearing, each image appearing for 2 seconds. And also we got a download button as well. So if I want to save this video in my PC, I can simply, a pop-up window will appear, and here we can basically select any location. Let's suppose I want to save it in any other location like here. So I can simply save this, save, and a pop-up window will open, video saved successfully, and we can simply open the location where it has saved it. So you can see it will tell you this location, and now you can play the video file. So this is the actual slideshow which has it created by using a series of images. So we are actually using FFmpeg, and we have developed this desktop application, and this will be the application we will be building, guys, and I will be showing you how to convert this into a exe file as well using Electron builder. So this allows you to actually convert your Electron desktop application and actually create a exe file so that you can distribute your desktop application to end users. You can see that. I will also show you at the end after how to deploy this, convert this into a exe file. So we will try to build this application. It's very easy. You can see that you can select as many images. Let me just show you one more time. Let's suppose now 7 images I have created, and let's suppose each image should take 5 seconds. So now total length of the video will be 35 seconds, and now once again you will see that now the video has been generated. So it is 34 seconds. So it has now containing 7 images, and each image is taking 5 seconds. So you can see it has created this slideshow. It's a very useful application, and it can create videos from static images. This is actual video editor that we will be building here, where we can generate random videos using static images. So now to basically build this, guys, all the source code is given, guys. If you face any problem, I've given the source code. You can buy the full source code using PayPal in United States dollar, or you can go to Stripe and make the payment in Indian rupees. So both the payment links are given in the description of the video. So you will get the zip file after you make the payment, and you can download the zip file from Google Drive, and then you can extract it. This will be the JavaScript file, and this will be the HTML file. Here you will see all the source code will be there. So now I will basically get started by building this application. So what I will do, I will simply close this and make a new project. So inside this I will simply go into my and make a new project here, Electron images to video. So you will basically see this is now empty directory, nothing is present. So first of all we need to initialize our package.json file, npm init-5. So this will create a package.json file for us. And then we need to install two dev dependency, which is Electron and Electron-builder. So Electron-builder is required for actually converting your file into exe file in order to deploy that. So these two dependencies are required. So this will be dev dependencies. So now it will create this. Now just create your index.js file and just create index.html file as well. So which will actually hold the HTML code and JavaScript code. So now to get started, we will first of all initialize our window for our desktop application. So we can do this using index.js. So just go to your file index.js, and here first of all we will import all these dependencies, which is app, browser window, and shell, and IPC main. So if you know guys, if you have studied Electron, you will know that we communicate in Electron using IPC, which is inter-process communication. There are two kind of processes in Electron. First is the main process. Here we are actually writing the main file here, which is index.js, which here we are having IPC main. And inside our HTML file, this is actually the front end of the application. So here we can give it a title here, which is Electron video generator. So this HTML basically seen by the user whenever they open your desktop application. So this HTML file contains the renderer process. So this is called as IPC renderer. So whatever it is rendered in the desktop app, it is seen by the user, and this is our backend code. So it is not a server, it is just the backend of your desktop application that you are building. This is the main process, this is the renderer process. So now we need to communicate that. That's why it is called as IPC, which is inter-process communication between these two processes. So after you do this, we now need to create a simple window. So now we will declare a main window variable, and then when the app is ready guys, basically this app variable listen for various events, activate one such event is ready. So when the app is ready, whenever we try to open the desktop app, this event will automatically fire. And here we can initialize our Electron window by using the browser window function. And inside this browser window, it takes the width of the window, which is 800, and the height, you can initialize it to any width and height accordingly. And then it also takes this web preferences object. If you want to use a Node.js modules, then you need to pass this property node integration to true, and then this context isolation. So this is also to false. So these two properties are required guys. You need to pass this web preferences in order to use the require statement inside your HTML file. If you don't use this, you will get an error. So after you do this, after just outside this object, we can load the window. Main window dot, this contains a method load file, and here we will load this index.html file that we created right here. So I can simply have a heading which is hello world. So now if I try to run this app, so what will happen? And inside your package.json file, we need to add a start script here, so which is Electron dash. This will actually run npm run start. This will actually start our Electron app. So we can say npm run start. So this will initialize the window, which will simply say to us the title is Electron video generator and the hello world. So whatever title that we put inside index.html, it is right here. You will see that. So now we are actually loading the file, and also when we close the window, you can see the application closes. And also we also need to just do it when the window closes, window all closed. We just need to close the application just for the, it is recommended that you do this. And you can say process.platform. If you're as you know guys, Electron is cross platform. It is useful for creating Windows, Mac or Linux desktop apps. So here we are simply comparing if the operating system is not Windows. If it is, in this case, we will simply call app.quit. And one more event that we need to say, which is activate event, because this, if you don't write this activate event, guys, let's suppose you run your application, and if you just minimize it, let's suppose I minimize this, and again if I try to open this, in certain cases it doesn't work, but we do need to write this activate event as well, which is app.on activate. And then we just need to initialize this. We will compare it if main window is null. In that case, we just need to create the window. Create window. We will call this function, that's all. So that's all the boilerplate code goes for any Electron application, guys. Here we initialize the window by putting its content, which is index.html. This is the front end, this is actually the back end, and we communicate through IPC communication, which is the main process and the renderer process. And now inside our HTML file, guys, we need to basically build our interface of our video generator app. So for doing this, we will actually use Bootstrap CDN. So we are using Bootstrap framework for developing the UI. It's not mandatory that you use Bootstrap. I'm just doing it for the styling purposes. And then we will actually have a div class, a container class, margin top 5. So these are our Bootstrap classes. Call MD6, and we will have a card class, card body. So inside card body, we will basically have a h5, and this will also have a class of card title, and this will simply say, instead of upload, we are not uploading images, we are just selecting images to create the video. So we are not storing images on any, it's not a server-side application, it's a desktop app. So we are simply allowing user to select image and then to create the video. So after this, we will have a simple form, and we will also be giving a form an ID so that we can target in JavaScript. And we do need to provide encoding type because we are uploading images here. Encoding type multi-part form data, and right here we just need to have a div tag mb3 input, and this will be input type file because here we will allow the user to upload multiple images. So we'll give it an ID which is image input, and name attribute we need to give, which is images. It is required, and then it should be required, and then we will allow the user to upload multiple, so we will put multiple attribute and class of form control. That's all. This will be the first input field where we allow the user to select images, and then in the second one, margin bottom 3, we will have a label for selecting the duration. So here we will allow the user to simply write the duration per image in seconds. So this value will be in second. So this will be input type number, and here we will simply allow the user to, we will give it an name parameter to it of duration, and minimum value will be 1 and maximum will, so the current value will be 5 seconds. Maximum you can just provide anything. It should also be required, that's all, and we need to give it a class of form control, that's all. So after this, we will simply have a simple button to actually submit the form. We will have a button and we will simply say generate video, just generate video. So button type will be button, and we will give it an ID to the button, upload button, that's all, and we'll give it a bootstrap class which is btn primary. So if you just reload your application, guys, just see the changes. Again, npm run start, You will see this is actual interface, and we have a simple input field where we can select the images, and then we have a simple input field where we can control how many seconds each image appears in the video, and then we have a simple button. And now we need to simply bind a simple on click listener to this button. As I click this button, what should happen? So we just need to write a simple JavaScript file here. So we can include script.js and just make a new file, script.js, right here. So inside this JavaScript code, guys, we will now basically include our IPC renderer process and also the shell, and this will be coming from require Electron. So here we are doing it in the front end. This is front end JavaScript, and this is back end JavaScript of your desktop application. And if you don't write this property context isolation to false, then you will actually get error. You can't use the required statement here. So that's why it is very much important that you include this context isolation to false. So after you do this, we just need to bind a event listener to our button. We have given an ID to it of upload button, add event listener. So when we click that button to actually generate the video, so here we will actually invoke a method which will generate video. So we will now make a simple method which is generate video. So inside this method, guys, what we need to do, let me just confirm it is working. Hi, it is working. If I just click the button, so this alert window will appear, hi world. So our code is working so perfectly. So now inside this method, what we need to do is that we need to simply target the form. So we have given an ID to the form, which is upload form. After that, we also need to capture the information of the form data using, we can instantiate new form data and pass the form reference. So it will actually capture all the information of the form and store it in the form data object. And then we will simply say duration. The duration will be equal to document.getElementById by ID duration input dot value. If you check, we have given this ID to the duration input field. I think we haven't given, so give it an ID duration input. So we will get this all this information that the user selects. And now we need to simply loop through all the image files the user select. You can use array from, and then we can say form data dot get all. This is actually the method contained inside form data constructor to actually get all the images. If you allow the user to select multiple files, you can do this. So if you see in the HTML, we have given a name parameter to this. So this is required images. So we are just targeting this, and here we just need to write images. So it will capture all the images selected, and then we need to simply loop through. So we can say dot map, it's a array. So for each file, what we need to do, so here we will simply do, sorry, let me just, here we need to use the map function and file. Yeah, so for each file, we will have two properties, file name and the path. So we will store the file name and the file path. So these two properties, we will store it, and then we will have this array. So we will now construct the data. So this data will consist of the images array. It is considered in files array, and the actual duration, which will come in to the duration. So this is our actual object constructed. It contains two properties, the actual images selected by the user and the duration property. And now the next step is to simply send this information to the backend. So now send this information, we need to convert this object to a JSON object. So a JSON.stringify data. That's all. This will convert your JavaScript object to a JSON string. And now we can simply use IPC renderer, and it contains this method called as send. As I already told you, it's called as inter-process communication, and here we can listen, send events similar to socket.io. In real time we are sending events, we are receiving events, so it is communicating with each other. So now we can send a simple event. I call this event as upload, or we can simply say process images, or I simply call this as generate video, like this, generate video. You can call this anything, just, and here inside curly bracket we are sending the data, and this will be called as data string. So whatever that you call right here, so we are sending this inside our event. We are sending this event to our backend, and here we are passing this information, which consists of object which contains two properties, images and the duration. And now we just need to listen for this event called as generate video in our backend. And now we can basically write here, we can say IPC main on. Here we are using the on method to listen for the events coming in the backend. So up we can say whatever we called generate video. Just make sure that you call this one generate video like this, and this will be the event arguments. So this will be the two arguments called, guys. This the second argument we are interested, we are actually passing some information right here, so we can simply uh, we can console log this information just to check if it is the information is coming or not. So this console log will be coming in the command line because it's a server side code. So if I just choose file, let's suppose I select these three images and then click, nothing happens here, but if you see, our data is coming in the command line. This is our object, images and the duration property. So if you see, all this data is coming right here, but the images are coming as null. Now we just need to parse this response, parse this JSON object using a function called as json.parse, and that will fix our problem. So first of all, if you need to first of all parse your data using json.parse arguments.data. So we have containing this data property that we are sending, so we are accessing this using the dot symbol arguments.data. And now if I try to console log data, it should contain the correct information. So if I now try to run this, select the images, and now if you see, guys, basically this is the images coming out to be null, null, null. Duration is 5. I think again it is coming as null. I think I'm making some kind of mistake here inside our this code, which is index.html or script.js code. Files array. So if I just console log it just to check if it is coming correctly, files array, and run this. So you can basically troubleshoot your program, guys. Just you need to go to view option and toggle developer tools, and you can simply see what things are there. And now it is telling me that it is coming out to be undefined. That's why it was a problem. The length is 3, but it is coming out to be, I think there is some kind of problem that we have, which is form data. We have given ID to the form. Let me check. Oh, I think upload form, the ID is correct. If you see in the index.html, the ID is correct. Image input, just wait, guys. Document, I think I am missing, guys, one thing. I am basically id is equal to image input. I have written this also. Name is equal to images. Just wait, guys. Let me clarify what was the error taking place, and I will be back. I figured out the error, guys. The error was very silly. This was a typo mistake, and you can see that in the map function, whatever we are doing it, this is the wrong method. This is the wrong syntax of the using the map method. The correct syntax, you will see I put a wrong brackets right here. That's why. The correct syntax is that dot map, and then we provide each file, and here arrow syntax, and then we need to put this parentheses, not a curly bracket. Inside this curly bracket we will put right here. So this is the correct syntax, and we will have two properties, name, so which can be file.name, and path will be file.path. And now the correct information will be there. Let me format this. This is the actual correct syntax. So just correct inside your code right here. And if I try to run this now, npm run start. So if I select as many images as you can select, so all this data will be there. You will see it is returned a images array. It is displaying it in the command line, each having two properties, name, path, name, path. So each object contains two properties, and we will use this information to actually do the processing using FFMPEG. So now we are actually getting all this information in the main process. So after that, guys, what we need to do, we now need to after this we need to also get the duration. So duration will be equal to data dot duration, and then we will construct our one file that we need to construct, which is input.txt file. So this txt file, guys, will contain the information, which is the actual video file path and the actual duration. So I will create date.now for randomness in the file name. So every time this file gets created, it will have a unique name. So that's why we are using date.now. We will concatenate file.txt, and after that we will simply say output file name will be, this file name will be created after the FFmpeg command is successful. So this will be a mp4 file, output.mp4. So this also will have a unique name every time because of this date.now function. So the syntax of this this file.txt file will be really simple, guys. Let me show you the demo. This file will actually contain something like this file. This will sample1.jpg. So whatever is the path, and then we will store the duration 5, and same goes with the second image, sample2.jpg, and then how many duration 5. So this is actual syntax of this txt file. We will do it programmatically using Node.js. So depending upon how many images the user has selected, depending upon that. So now to create this, we will actually use again the map function. We will say image entries. We will use files, and we will actually store this array files, which is data.images. It's the actual array here, which contains image data, image objects. So we are storing it inside files. So we can now use the map function, files.map, and for each file here we can do it in a single line, in a template string. So this will be file.path, and then we can say this needs to be in single quotes. So just make it in single quotes, and then we will have a new line character, which is this one, and duration. So duration will be this duration, and we can basically also we need to call the join function, So we will join it by new line character as well. So with this one line of code, guys, it will actually create this txt file for us automatically with this having. Now to create this file, we need the file system module. So just include the built-in file system module of Node.js. So just require it. And this file system module contains methods to interact with the file system. So write file synchronize. You will write it in the input file path and the image entries. So whatever thing that you need to write. So if I now execute the application now, if I select images, in the left hand side, just notice a file will be created as I select these images. Click on this button and you will see this random name is generated every time. And if you see the syntax of this, so file followed by the address in single quote. So this is c/user/, so whatever is the path of the file that you selected in your desktop application, it will capture the path automatically. And then in the second line, it will tell you the duration. So my duration is 5 for all the images. So you can see that it has created this file. So using this file, guys, we will actually execute our FFMPEG command and to actually generate the video. So now to generate the video, we will need to execute, we will basically create a variable FFMPEG command. We will write this command first of all in this template string and FFMPEG. You should have FFMPEG installed, guys, inside your system to actually run this application. Concat -save 0-i for the input file, and here we can give this input file path that we constructed. -vf for video filter, and then this scale. It's a very complex command, so what I will do, I will simply paste this command. This is the actual command, guys, basically FFMPEG command, and we are actually giving this logic. And here I have NVIDIA GPU installed, so we are basically providing this H264_NVNC encoder. So it will now use my GPU for faster processing, and it will take less time because I have a dedicated GPU. So it will use that dedicated GPU, and then this output file name will get created in the root directory. So after that, we now need to execute this. So now for executing it, we will actually just have this execute synchronous. This will be coming from the child process module, which is a built-in module. You need not have to install it. Execute synchronous. So right here, we will actually have a try catch block. So try catch if any sort of error take place. So we can simply use this function execute synchronize and pass this FFMPEG command. And after that, we can simply construct our output path. So this path will be coming. For this, we also need the path module as well. Path, we just require the path module as well. So we can use the path.join method, and here we will detect the current working directory. So this can be used using process.cwd, and this function is there. It will automatically detect your current working directory. So then we can concatenate the output file name. So this will give you the path of the output file. So now let me basically see if I select images here. Just notice on the left hand side, it will create an MP4 file. Suppose I select these 4 images. So it created this txt file first of all, and then our MP4 file, you can see it generated. Each image is taking 5 seconds, and this is actual slideshow. You can see that. So our MP4 file has been successfully generated. Now we just need to display this file in the desktop app. How we can do that? So we are basically sending a event, guys, after we generate this. After this, we need to remove that txt file. We no longer need that, so we can use fs unlink sync. So we can remove that file using this method. So that file will get automatically removed, and then we can use main window web contents, main window web contents dot send, and here we will actually send out an event from the main process to the renderer process. So this event, I will call this as video processed, and this will be output path. We will basically pass this information as the second argument. Now we need to listen for this event that are passed. Now we need to open our script.js, this client-side JavaScript, and here we need to listen for this event. So we can listen using IPC renderer on video processed. So now your video is processed. We now need to show our download button, and also we need to show the video in a video player. So for showing the video in a video player, guys, we need to write our HTML. Just add this HTML code after the form is ending. Just, I think it is ending right here after the form. The form is ending right here, form div div div. So 3 divs. After this we need to add, so div call md6. In the second row, in the second column, we need to show card body video container, and right here we will simply have a video tag, and we will give it an ID to this video player, and it should have the controls. We will give it a class margin bottom 4. So this video tag will be empty by default, and inside this we will actually have a source tag. This source will be equal to nothing, and type will be video/mp4. And also after this we will have an anchor tag. So this anchor tag will actually show a download button to the user or save button. btn primary, it's a bootstrap class. So we need to give it a download parameter so that the user can download, and style, it will not be displayed, so display will be none. So when you open the application, it will not be displayed. So you can simply call this as save video. Just change this href, don't write the href here, right here, and just you need to paste these CSS styles, guys, just for aligning this properly. Just adding this style sheet. As this video is not about style sheet, so what I will do is that I will create a new file, style.css. Just create a file. This is our CSS styles, guys, so very little, we are just doing it. And after this, if you basically open the application, there will be 2 files, you will see that. So this is your video player and this is your actual form, and nothing will happen right here because we haven't written the code. So now just go to your script.js. so right here we will now try to actually show this video in the video player automatically whenever the video is generated. So for doing this, we now need to target our video player using the document.getElementById, which is video player, the ID that we have given. After that, we also need to target the download link. This anchor tag we have given the ID, which is download link. And now we just need to say video player dot source. And now to show any file, you need to play any file in the file browser, we will use the file protocol. So file colon slash slash followed by the path of the file, which is we are receiving it in the this event, which is output path. So video player dot source, and also we will show the download save button as well. So download link style dot display to inline block. If you just see now guys, your video will now show in the video player. Just see. If I select, click on generate video, in the right hand side if you see, your video will be showing right here. You can now play the video in the video player right here inside your desktop app. You can see that. So you no longer need to check the. Now we need to bind this save video. As I click this button save video, a pop-up window should appear where we can simply save the video file. So for doing this, we can basically bind a on-click listener to this. So when we click the save button, we now need to simply open a pop-up window. We can't directly show a pop-up window right here in the renderer process. We need to send this event to the main process in Electron. So for doing this, we now need to video player document dot video player. We will target this, and we can get the file name using video player dot source dot split. We are simply getting the file name using this. After getting the file name from the video source, we can simply convert this video into a buffer so that we can actually save the video in a particular location. That's why we are doing it. We are using fetch here, and then we are basically saying video player dot source, and it returns a promise. You can handle this by using .den. This converts your video to a buffer, the data, so that we can store it in a. We can convert this into a blob, response.blob. So it basically converts your video playback source to a blob object. Again, it will actually return a promise. So we can do it in a single line as well, response.blob. This also returns a promise, which is it will have a blob to us. And now we can actually use the file reader API to actually read this blob and convert this into an array buffer. So this is slightly complicated, guys. We are just doing this, calculating this because we need to save this file in a particular location. So that's why we need to convert this video into an array buffer. For that, we are converting first of all this video file to a blob object. And now we will use this file reader, this API, file reader API. As you all know, it's available for every browser. File reader, and it contains a method called as onload. So inside this function, inside this event, we will basically get all the content of the file. So we will say file contents event.target.result, and then we can say IPC renderer send, and we will send out this event. We could call this event as save video, and then we can basically pass this content, this information, file name, and the file content. So after that, guys, what we need to do, just outside this onload event, we just need to call this file reader dot read as array buffer and pass the blob object. That's all. So basically what it will do, it will read the video blob object and convert this into an array buffer, and this execute. Firstly this execute, and then this onload execute, and then we basically send out this information, file name and the file content. And now we can actually write our, lastly this this event called as save video in our main function, which is in index.js. So right here we can say IPC main dot on save video, and this event will be there, and then the file name, we can destructure it, file name, file content. So I think I made a mistake here. Sorry, this event, then we have our file name, file content. Yeah. So now we have got this information, file name, file content, and now to show a pop-up window, we now need to construct our options. This basically, it's an object here which will show the title. The title of the window will be save video, and the default path will be coming through path.join, and this will be the current directory and the file name, default path. And button label, so button label will be called as save. It can be either any message box, basically you can show it for opening the file or saving the file, any message window. You can read more about this in Electron documentation. And then we have called filters as well. So this allows you to basically give filters. So I only want to save MP4 files, that's why we will put this extension filter. This will only save it to MP4. So that's all. We constructed this options object. Now we need to use dialog dot show. Various methods are there: show, open dialog, message box. For that we need to use show save dialog, and then pass our main window and the options. That's all. This will return a promise. Result will be there, and here we can compare if the user hasn't click the cancel button, and also if result file path, if the user has saved the file. If both the scenarios are correct, in that case the user has successfully saved the file. And now we need to simply read the buffer from the file content that we are receiving, whatever data that we want to save it at that particular location. We are basically reading this buffer, and then we will actually use the file system.write file, and we will basically save that to that location, result.file path, and this will be the buffer that we need to save, and the array. If any sort of error take place, arrow function, just format this like this. So if no error take place, guys, then we need to simply open the file location after we save it. So for doing this, we need to show basically another pop-up window for the user. This time this window will be of type info, and the buttons will be open file and OK. Two buttons will be there, open file and OK. Default ID will be 0, and the title will be video saved. And the message will appear here, video saved successfully. And the detail, so if you want to open the video path, we can simply write here, the video is saved at that location, video saved at result.file path. That's all. So now to show this, just format this. We again used to use dialog dot. This time we will use the show message box function, and we will pass null as the first argument and options. It returns a promise. We will basically destructure the response, and if the response is triple equal to 0 for the condition, if the user has basically clicked that button, in that case we need to open the file location. So for you opening the file location, automatically we'll use shell module in Electron, shell dot show item in folder, and we will basically pass the path result dot file path. That's all. This is your full application, guys. And if I try to run this application now and choose our image file, generate video, so our video will be generated. You will see that you can play the video, each image taking 5 seconds, so 4 image files, so 20-second video is there. So if I want to save this pop-up window will appear, guys. You will see with the default file name, and I can now go to basically any location that I want to save. Let's suppose this location, or I create a new folder right here in this location, new folder, hello, with the name of hello, and I go into this folder and save it. So now this basically message will appear, video saved successfully. This video is saved at this location. If I click open file, so it will open that location for me automatically. You will see that. So I can now play my video file. So it's basically, guys, we have developed a fully compatible Electron desktop application video generator, where we actually generate video from the static images. It's slideshow. You can basically pick as many images as you want. It's a desktop app, and we are using FFMPEG. You should have a FFMPEG installed. And now to actually convert this application, bundle this application to actual exe file, just go to your package.json file, and as we install Electron builder, we just need to create another script right here. Let me call this as package, and then inside this we can call Electron builder, Electron-builder. Then you can also give it an author name. It will basically have an author name, and also you can also give it a product name value as well. Product name. I can call this as video generator. That's so. And this now will execute. It will create a dist folder right here in the root directory as you execute. So let me just say npm run package, sorry, the command npm run package. So if you see in the left hand side, it will now run Electron builder, and it will now convert your Electron app into a exe file. It will create a dist folder, and it will do it for all operating system, Windows, Mac, Linux. Depending upon your operating system, wherever you are executing it, it will create. My operating system is Windows, so it will actually create a exe file for me, a builder file, and inside this we will actually get all this. FFmpeg will also get installed automatically, ffmpeg.dll, all that stuff. So if you are distributing this desktop app, then your user will no longer need to have FFmpeg installed. They can automatically run your application. So this is a setup file. If you run the setup here, they need to run the setup for the very first time. It will install all the dependencies, and now it will run your application, and you can see that video will be generated, and they can save this video file anywhere else. You can see, save this, open file, you can see that. So all the source code, guys, is given, guys, in the description. If you still want any error, you can purchase the full source code. The link is given. You can purchase it using United States dollar at PayPal, or you can purchase it using Stripe in Indian rupees. So both the payment links are given in the description of the video. Please hit that like button, subscribe the channel, and I will be seeing you in the next video.